O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down in the driver's seat and when I rise up through the gears. You discern my thoughts from a car.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It could be any one of those for me, as I haven't really slept. I had a very poor night's sleep, if you can call it that, last night, and so I'm driving to work. I don't know what's powering me along. It's probably adrenaline for the first 2 or 3 hours, and then I'll collapse on the desk or in the middle of a phone call or something like that. But yes, well, I hope you're doing okay wherever you are. I just thought I would share a few thoughts on my way to work today, on a day or a night where I haven't had any sleep, on the subject of sleep. Listen to that rain. As usual, it will be ill-prepared and poorly thought out. It's like a US military campaign, I suppose. There we go. So, whenever you're a child, you do anything to put off going to bed. You make excuses. You complain about having a sore tummy. You say, "Oh, it's just this thing I need to do," and I want some to eat. You know, and you do anything to prevent yourself from going to bed. And when you're a young child, often, you get bragging rights if you've been up late. Say you and the family have gone out somewhere and it's been a late night, so it's a big family event and it's a late night and you're desperate the next day to go in and say to everybody, "I was up to 11:30, or something like that, and everybody goes, "Wow, 11:30, wow." The older you get, the more you look forward to going to bed. You don't fight bedtime at all. You welcome it with open arms. But we need our sleep. It's not good not to sleep, and so my heart goes out to anybody who suffers from insomnia, who finds it hard to get to sleep or to get any sort of decent quality of sleep. It must be difficult for them, and it makes their day, the following day, very difficult, I'm sure. Because as we all know, if you don't get your sleep, you do tend to become a little bit on the grumpy side, and that's never really good, because when you're grumpy and tired, you do things and say things that maybe you wouldn't do if you had been well rested, and that can cause all sorts of problems and tensions and all sorts of stuff. So I do feel sorry for people who don't sleep. And that's an interesting thing, sleep, because we spend a third of our day supposedly asleep, 8 hours. We're supposed to be unconscious and dreaming, or just lightly snoozing or whatever, but a third of our day. So because we need our sleep to survive, I think there have been experiments done where people were denied sleep for a huge length of time, like 5-6 days a week or something like that, and it did them great harm. In fact, it may even have killed some of them. So we do need our sleep. We need a break from the everyday to allow us to recharge. And I suppose in a way that's the whole sort of Sabbath thing, if you're thinking in religious terms. When I was a kid, the Sabbath was Sunday. It began at midnight, and it finished on midnight, 24 hours later. And all the shops were closed, leisure centres were closed, everything, cinemas were closed, the pubs were open, I think, but generally speaking everything shut down, and there was nothing to do. And I think the TV was okay on a Sunday, but generally speaking there was nothing to do. But it is important to have a Sabbath, to have a break, to have a rest from the normal humdrum of life, because it gives you a chance to recharge, it gives you a chance to reflect, it gives you a chance to assess where you are and what are the needs for the next week and all this sort of stuff. So having a Sabbath is actually quite a good idea, not in the sort of free Presbyterian tie up the swings Sabbath. I mean, it should be an optional thing rather than a prescribed thing. But it is good, whether your Sabbath is a Sunday or a Saturday or a Monday or whatever day, it's good to have a day clear of other things. When I had my dog walking business, because I needed to get as much money in as possible and all that sort of stuff, I actually ended up working 7 days a week. No, it wasn't 7 full days. The Saturday was a sort of half day, but it meant that there was never one day when I was off. I was always obliged to do certain things Monday through to Sunday, and it wasn't good. It wasn't a good way to be. Here we go. It sort of destroyed you from the inside. It was awful. So we need a Sabbath, we need rest, we need a good night's sleep. So I hope that you sleep well tonight. I hope that I sleep well tonight. I hope that your day goes well. I hope my day goes well. It's not too much of a disaster. I don't become Mr. Grumpy Pants and snap people at work. And sure, I will see you, just turning around the corner, I will see you sometime in the future. So take care. Nighty night.